What's up, everybody? Welcome back, LJTV. I hope everybody's having a fine hump day Wednesday. And today we're going to talk about stabilization. Why do you need stabilization? For one, if you're just getting into filmmaking or you're doing like certain projects for people, stabilization is always important. Yes, there's sometimes that stabilization you don't want it. You want that shaky footage depending on the scene you're shooting or whatever it is that you're doing. But for the most part, having stable hands or a stabilizer to aid you in whatever you're filming helps out a lot. Shaky footage is oftentimes unusable unless it's intentional. And I got a product from Amazon. It's called the SuteFoto S40 that I had ordered and I had received. I think I'm gonna have to send it back actually because I think it got bent some kind of way. But I'm gonna show you guys how to use a stabilizer gimbal. And I'm sure if you watched one of my other videos about how I made my own DJI Ronin M using the Crane, I think it was a Crane V2 I was using, and I made my own contraption to make it like the Ronin M. But I'm gonna show you a non-motorized stabilizer for your camera. So what I have here, this is the SuteFoto S40. I got my Canon, my 70D on here with the 10-18 wide angle lens on here, and this is non-motorized, meaning there's no motors like the Crane or the DJI or the Movi or whatever. It doesn't use any motors, but it uses bearings to put it on its axis and get those smooth shots. Now, the reason why I went to motorized is because these they hurt my wrist a lot when you're using it one hand or two hands like this for like an extended period of time. My wrist starts to hurt because I did have an injury a long time ago, and it starts to hurt my hands. And the motorized one was just a little bit easier for me to handle. But I also know how to use one of these just in case if I need it. Now, the thing with these is it takes some time to get it to balance perfectly and not tilt side to side while you're shooting your footage. And I'm going to give you some suggestions and recommendations on how to stabilize one of these because it's going to take some getting used to. So if you get one of these, don't get frustrated. It just takes a little bit of time to get it down and get it like up to speed and get it fast. So first recommendation is get a mic stand. Just get a mic stand, go to Guitar Center or your music store or whatever. Get a mic stand. I got this one set up pretty high so you can see it, but it's better to set it low so it could be a little bit more stable than it is. The reason why I use a mic stand is because it's flat on the bottom and it provides like a perfect upright position to put the glide cam or your stabilizer on. So on the bottom of the stabilizer, you have a hole right here that you could put right on the mic stand and it'll sit there. Now, how do you stabilize it? This particular one has some weights on the bottom, and that was a Steadicam, I think it's the 4000 or whatnot. They all have counterweights on the bottom. So depending if you got a DSLR or a mirrorless, you could add or take away weights to get it to be perfectly stable. Now for this one, I'd recommend mirrorless because I've had a few issues out of this one because of the size and the weight of it. But if you don't have mirrorless, it's fine. It still works totally perfect. So on the bottom, I have some weights already. I don't know if you can see them. Let me take it off of here. I have some counterweights on the bottom already. That's for this particular camera. You're going to place it on the mic stand. And you're gonna notice that it tilts kind of backwards. So that means wherever it tilts, you have to counteract that by making the adjustments. This top plate is front back and there's a bottom one which is left right. And I'm gonna turn it just like this so you can see that. So if it's leaning like this towards me, so I need to get it to go the other way. So what I would do is I would adjust the top plate to get it to go in the opposite direction. and tighten it. So now it's straight up and down. And see, it's tilting forward just a little bit. So now you would grab the top plate and just ever so slightly squeeze it back. If you're having these issues with yours, this is how you do it. So remember, just adjust it in the opposite directions how you stabilize one of these. And another rule of thumb, when you put your camera on one of these, make sure you have your set lens, your set aperture, and all that set already, and microphones or whatever you're going to attach to the camera. Make sure you have all that set and then balance it. You don't want to balance it then start adding stuff, because it'll throw it off. And if you're going to have your LCD screen flipped to the side, make sure you do that beforehand, because it's going to throw everything off. Now this one's sitting perfectly straight against the mic stand. So now we test the tilt. Now when you test this out, if it swings down too low and you're trying to film, that means your footage is gonna look like kind of fast and kind of rushed and maybe blurry a little bit. So the recommended thing to do is if you drop this is called like the drop test. If you drop it and goes down too fast, that's when you adjust this bottom one. This extends out like that. All of them do this. So this one extends out, depending on your camera model. You can extend that to make sure it doesn't drop too fast. Now this is not the best stabilizer, so I've already had some problems out of it. I'm just showing you how to do this for whatever stabilizer you get on how to set everything up. So this one's balanced pretty good already. So when you take it off, it shouldn't really sway anywhere. It should stay, but you should be able to move forward, move side to side with it, or tilt it, or even put it upside down if you needed to. Now it's recommended that you use a wide angle, because it provides and turn your stabilization feature off, because you're trying to stabilize it with this and the camera's trying to stabilize it too, and it counteracts each other. Turn your stabilization off and then shoot your film or whatever it is you're gonna do. So just like this. So don't get this, stay away from this one, because it shifted to me bent. That's why you see it swaying and all that. So if I were you, I'd get like a glide cam or a steady cam stabilizer. Don't get anything from SuteFoto. Just letting you know. So that's going to be it for a little tutorial on how to stabilize your camera on a stabilizer. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.